This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 9, Episode 27, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington across YouTube. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of my mighty YouTube social media empire that had 5 million views last year. Thank you. So please share, comment, subscribe, and hit the thanks button, especially the thanks button. One of these days, Matt, somebody's going to hit that thanks button and you get a soda.
I could use it. Actually, Rick, I don't drink soda anymore.
Oh, what, New Year's resolution?
No, I'm just trying to cut down on the sugar. I'm fat.
It's called diet soda, you know.
I can't drink that fake sugar stuff.
Are you just going to beer now? You're going to beer only now?
No.
All right. Okay, hard cider, or whatever you guys call it now. All right, so the Washington Commanders had another disaster, although it wasn't as bad as I anticipated, losing 27-10 to San Francisco, but full house of 49ers fans. Hey, at least the owners here didn't throw drinks on visiting fans. I'll give them that.
Where was David Tepper a few years ago? Like, where was this guy when Snyder still owned the team?
I know everybody's going, oh, Snyder wouldn't have done that. I thought, hey, listen, we want to rank sins. Snyder's sins are a little more than throwing a beer on somebody.
Yeah, Tepper hasn't sued a 90-year-old lady yet.
I mean, Uncle Teddy got in a fight in the concourse years ago.
That's true. I forgot Ted fought somebody.
So, a Tepper, they'll find Tepper. They'll find him pretty good. Bet you he gets at least $250,000.
And the funny thing was he threw the drink on one of his own fans.
Yeah, well, I figured because the guy was an idiot. So he was trying to sober him up. Whatever. But, yeah, it was a pretty crappy game. They lost. This is now 7 straight losses heading into Sunday's game against Dallas. Dallas has something to play for, I guess. So, and so does Washington. Washington's going for the number 2 draft pick. So
they're currently in second position.
Well, kind of. I mean, we'll talk about that the next show. But all right, so here's the grace part. We spend a week about Jacoby Brissett's going to be the quarterback, and then he gets. How do you pull a hamstring when they didn't practice all week? They just did walkthroughs.
I know.
Did somebody punch him in the back of his leg or something? I mean, I've never heard the answer to that. And I don't think it's the owners that said, no, we're starting Sam, whatever. I mean, I have a bet with Grant Paulson on radio about Jake Fromm playing a game. And I thought, oh, I'm so close to Jake Fromm playing. Maybe he plays something in the last game. They haven't decided yet who's going to play this final week. What, are you telling me now that you might play Jacoby Brissett in the final week? What would that serve? You got to play Sam now. And then next guy can worry about whatever they're going to do with Sam. Sam played a pretty good game for about 2/3 of the way in and threw 2 straight picks that were close picks. They weren't awful. They just were a foot outside what they should have been. And it didn't work. And whenever Sam goes bad, he gets worse. It's like Rex Grossman. So, I think Sam did okay in that game. He played better than he had. I thought the play calling was awful. I laugh at the radio. I mean, the TV announcer said, Ron Rivera didn't handle the clock very well in the final moments of the first half. I'm like, are you new to town?
Where you been, bud?
Like, yeah, I've seen this a few times before.
Well, see, and that's the thing, like you talked about, at halftime, it was 13-10. And you're thinking, wow, they're hanging with the mighty San Francisco 49ers. Like, what is this world? Like, the touchdown pass to Terry was on point. It was a beautifully thrown ball. He was spreading the ball around and getting Terry down deep. Like, he was throwing some good balls, and then all of a sudden, maybe he should have thrown the ball. The first interception probably should have he should have led his receiver a little bit more instead of trying to throw it in a tight window. But yeah, it's just I'm waiting for the year to be over. We knew this was kind of going to be a fluctuation year where new ownership came in late. They can't make as many changes as they wanted to. They ended up having to make changes in the in the middle of the season with getting rid of Del Rio and the DB's coach. This is going to be the true first off season for Josh Harris and co. And I believe this is where we're going to see what this team is eventually going to be. Um, does it include a full rebuild? I don't know. We'll talk about draft picks, but I still don't think you go for the quarterback. I don't think Caleb Williams is everything that that people claim he's going to be. And Drake May, could he be Justin Herbert? Maybe, but Justin Herbert hasn't won anything yet either. So, I think you can kind of prolong quarterback for a year. You need to build your own line. And also Sam can be successful with a good running game. We've seen it in the past where there's balance. Bieniemy has not had balance this year. He's thrown the ball 45, 50 times to, 20 runs. That's not good balance for a young quarterback.
Yeah. We have a lot to talk about in the draft. We'll get to that. Offensive line showed up. I mean, they changed 3 starters. Yep. Your left tackle, your left guard, and your right tackle are different guys. And they did okay against a pretty good San Francisco team with Bosa. Chase Young got 1 tackle. I mean, they have so dodged the bullet on Chase Young not re-signing him. What a lazy player he has turned out to be. What a shame. He had all the potential, but he busted on him. They got a 3rd for him. San Francisco's not going to re-sign him. He's shown it. How many times you look at it, he's not following the play.
Well, so, yeah, and a good analysis of Chase Young too is if you look at him from college to the pros, obviously the injury doesn't help, but they said that he's bulked up. Like he might need to lose some weight, some muscle. I mean, he's built out of granite. I'm not calling him fat, but I'm saying muscle, when you put on 20 pounds, it's going to slow you down, and he might he needs to develop another tactic to get to the quarterback. But he can't bull rush. You can't bull rush a lot of left tackles in the NFL. You're not going to be able. You need to develop a spin move or something like Dwight Freeney had. But yeah, I think if he dropped a couple pounds and maybe got a little lighter, he would be lighter on his feet and he could get to the quarterback. But my biggest thing with Chase Young, and I've noticed, and we noticed it when he was here, and we noticed it now, is he over pursues. He commits to. Like the running back, he'll commit to him, but he over pursues the guy. It's the same thing with the quarterbacks. So, at first when they only got a 3 for him, I was a little shocked that it was that low. I expected it to be a 2 like they got for Montez, but now we're seeing it. I mean, maybe we're lucky we ended up with a 3.
Montez Sweat, I might be the first guy ever. I've got no answer.
This is a random stat, man.
Yeah, that he leads the Bears. And he still leads the Commanders in sacks. To lead 2 teams in the same year. I've talked to some guys. They've never heard of this. But Jonathan Allen is still a sack behind, 1.5 sacks behind. I don't see him getting that against Dallas. Casey Toohill is 2 sacks behind. So I think Montez is going to end up being their leading sack guy again. That is the strangest stat of so much, like leading 2 teams in receptions or something. You never see something like that.
And hell, half of those sacks for Sweat came in the first game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean they've had no pass rush at all, but that's surprising. I mean, I thought Payne played a decent game the other day, and Allen's okay, but the rest of the defense, I couldn't believe San Francisco wasn't exploiting Washington's secondary, which was missing a bunch of people. No St. Juice, no Fuller, a couple of Christian Holmes ended up getting hurt. I mean, I was like, did they even watch tape this week? Or they just figure, screw it, we'll do whatever, we'll win.
But, Rick, this is what happens every year. You get 1 or 2 key injuries. Younger guys come in and they just play better. We saw it last year with the discovery of Derek Forrest. We saw it with Jeremy Reeves on special teams. Like, these are guys that, when your starters are gone and these younger guys are coming in and they're playing better than the starter, you're sitting there thinking, well, why didn't we play this guy all season? Like, this is what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot about motivation too. I mean, they asked Ron about a couple weeks ago. Well, when you're down halftime against, I guess, the Jets 20-0, he said, I just appealed to their professionalism, and I thought they came out and played a decent game second half against the Jets, almost won. I think he did that again against the 49ers, and I thought they played overall about what they could play. I mean, they weren't going to win the game, but they didn't look awful. They weren't looking stupid like they were against the Jets. They gave it their best shot. They just weren't good enough. I mean, I thought Trent Williams, it was funny, I'm watching as many San Francisco players at times. I'm watching Trent Williams to see how he's doing. he just was a man out there compared to anybody else. And people are like, oh, you gave him away for a third. He wasn't coming back. He wasn't coming back, and everyone knew it. So third was all you were going to get.
They got what they could get.
Yeah, it's too bad that happened.
It will still go down as one of the biggest blunders of the Bruce Allen era.
Yeah, I mean, they blew it by handling it so wrong with the cancer diagnosis and all that stuff. I mean, I was around. I saw that stuff. I mean, Trent's not a bad guy, but he felt wronged, and I can't blame him on that kind of thing.
Well, and also, you can't trust your medical staff. How can you be on this team if you don't trust the medical staff, the staff that is paid to take care of you and make sure that you are healthy to do your job every week?
I mean, the previous medical staff's the one that saved my life. So
right.
I like
right. You love the old Redskins medical staff because for those of you who don't know, they saved Rick's life when he had a heart attack.
Yeah. So that was a long time ago. I'm still here. But yeah, they were on top of me. Thank you, Bubba, and the rest of the guys. But I could see all this stuff happening. I don't know. And the other thing about the enemy, his stock has just gone through the floor. And I don't know that he gets a head coaching job somewhere else. The most interesting angle I heard was the Commanders fire him on Monday, and the Chiefs reach out to him and say, hey, come on back and just consult for a week because we don't know what the heck's going on around here.
Oh, that'll happen. That'll happen. If he gets fired, he's going back to Kansas City and going to get Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce right because that team is a mess.
But could he come? I mean, I guess technically, if you're fired, you can go with the other team this season. I guess you can. Players could. If you cut there, that's when Dion wanted to jump on a playoff team, and Marty wouldn't let him when he was holding out. But Bieniemy, I could see him going back there. There's supposed to be up to 10 coaching openings. I don't know if there'll be 10, but there'll probably
already 2.
Yeah, I mean there could be 6 to 8 around here. So
no, I'm sorry, there's already 3: Carolina, the Chargers, and the Raiders.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce should get that Raiders job.
Oh my God, yes. I know they didn't win yesterday, but man, that team plays for him. And we know Antonio; he's a good dude. We know from his time here. Yeah, I mean, I'd at least give him a shot. See, that's where they messed up before. If you remember when the Raiders fired, I think when they had to get rid of Gruden was when they had Rick Bisaccia or whatever his name was as interim, and those guys played for him. And then they end up bringing in Josh McDaniels and screwed everything up.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels. Oh, woof. But yeah, Antonio's done a great job. I mean, I was so shocked when he got that job. I was like, what? But, a linebackers coach who's not been around long, it'd be like giving it to Kerrigan here. I was like, screw it, give it to Ryan. He's never going to. That'd be the sad part when they get rid of the coaches is Ryan Kerrigan's gone.
Yeah.
Next guy wants to keep him. And I don't know. He hasn't done a great job, I guess, in making pass rush. Because they don't have a whole lot of it.
They don't have any linebackers.
I know. I mean, he's working with the DNs too, but I usually there's one guy that they tend to keep when you're an incoming coach because that guy knows where the bathrooms and all are. I mean, if you keep one guy for something, I hope they keep Ryan.
I do too.
That'd be great. If not, I tell Ryan, you got $1 billion in the bank. Go enjoy I think he has 3 daughters. Go enjoy your kids. I mean, he's got little kids. The coaching's a hard job and a hard life on people. Notice now most just have their son on a staff now. That happens a lot.
Yeah. Well, we hit on Bieniemy. I know next show we'll talk about everybody else, but I'll give you a little preview. I think the bloom is off the Raiders with Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, his stock has dropped more than anybody I've seen since RG3 when he got sent out of town.
Yep. So.
All right, we're probably out of time.
And that at least took a whole season.
Yeah.
Like we loved Robert in 2012, and then 2013 came around, and everybody hated him.
Yeah, I mean, they were ready to make him king of Washington back in August, and now he's getting run out on a rail too.
Yep.
So even if they hire a defensive coach, I don't know. I don't know who they're hiring yet, and we can talk about that next show because there's lots going on. All right, so we're out of here. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we'll be back on Thursday.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent with your hosts, Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.